Welcome to Grace Roots Homestead. Have you ever wondered how to start a big, nice crop garden like the one in the Justin Rhodes book, The Rooted Life, but you just don't know where to start? Watch this video to find out. In Justin Rhodes' book, The Rooted Life, he has a section about crop gardens. And if you want to make one of these crop gardens, I highly suggest you buy this book and follow his plans. But the first and the most important thing you need for a crop garden is a 24 by 50 foot area. And so I'm going to mark out a 24 by 50 foot area. It'll probably extend down to kind of the woodpile area. That'll be one corner. And then come over here somewhere. And then come out to about here or something. And then go back down there towards that area. So yeah, this is the spot we've chosen for our crop garden. As you can see, there are a couple raised beds. There's one there and a couple more behind me. But we just thought this spot was the most kind of out of the way, where it wouldn't be right in the middle of our backyard, but also in a flat area. And we also have this big pile of old composted horse manure, which will help the soil here. So this seemed like the best spot for us. But you can put your crop garden anywhere where you have a flat, sunny area. All right, the first step is to measure out your 24 by 50 foot area. So what you'll need is 4 stakes, something to hammer them in with, and a tape measure. Ours is a 25-foot tape measure. If you had a 50-foot tape measure, that would be even better, but we don't have access to one of those, so the 25-foot one will just have to do. All right, here's corner 1, back here by the raised bed garden area. And then I'm going to extend 50 foot towards the barn, and then 24 foot that way. Alright, I got all my corner posts in, and I doubt that they'll pick up on the video. But there's one right down there, and one right down there by the barn, and then one down there by all that brush. And I kind of roughly put them in. They don't have to be perfect, precise 24 by 50 foot. But just to get your, kind of see where the garden will be. In this video, you're not going to get that satisfying before and after of having a nice made garden, because that's going to take probably 6 months to make the garden, because what we're actually doing in this video is moving the cow and the sheep. Let me turn around the camera. Hey, sheep. All right, so I have them locked in the barn down there, and we are taking down their fence, and then we're bringing their fence around, and over here, like right there's the barn, and over here's the garden area. I know you can't see because the sun is setting, but we're going to move the fence around the garden area, and then we're going to put the cow, the sheep, and the chickens together, and put them on this spot for 2 months. All right, so the reason we're putting the cow and the sheep and the chickens on this spot for 2 months is because we want to fertilize the soil for one. We want to have a spot to keep the cow in the winter, where it's not going to be destroying the other grass. And then they will eat all the grass, and the chickens will scratch it and till it, and they'll fertilize it and get it ready for the garden. Okay, right now it's November. This is a perfect time to start. You put them on there for a couple months through the winter. They'll fertilize the soil. I'll be happy. Then, after you move them off of this spot in 2 or so months, it doesn't have to be exact, then you put a tarp on this spot and let the microbe life and the microbial organisms come back to the soil under the tarp. And then in the spring is when you'll actually start breaking dirt and making the garden here behind me, planting and everything. Stay tuned for those videos. Unfortunately, I can't wait to post this video until then, because that would be a long time to have those videos on my phone, and I could lose this video, so I want to go ahead and get it posted for you. But I'm probably going to make a playlist of all these videos, that way you can watch all of them, especially if you're watching in 2024 or 2025 or whenever you're watching this. Then you can watch the whole playlist, or you can follow along on my journey and do what I'm doing. Alright, I hope I didn't scare you with all the cow, the sheep, and the chickens having to be on here. I hope you didn't X out of this video, and I hope you're still here, so if you are, thanks. But what if you say, I don't have a cow, I don't have a sheep, I don't even have chickens? That's totally fine. Instead, what you do is mark out your area like I did, and then you just immediately mow the grass, make sure there's no big brush, and then you would put the tarp on it immediately and let that be on there for a few months before spring, and then you'd work your soil. So you can completely skip the animal part of the thing, but since we have the animals, and since they'll fertilize the soil, because the soil probably hasn't been fertilized in a long time, then they're a good tool to use. So basically, all I'm going to do is take down the fence, set it up around here, and then once it gets to be evening time, the chickens are down in the front yard. I'm going to get the chickens, move them up here, then all the animals will be together. But so I don't bore you with all the moving of fences, I'm going to do a couple time lapses, but I'm going to take a break in the middle of the time lapses and show you a cool trick you can do with your electric fences. Alright, for a quick tip. One person commented on one of my videos asking why I put these support posts in the fence, and specifically why I put one kind of at a 45-degree angle at the end of the electric fence. And you see, right now it doesn't have any support posts on it, it's just what's built into the electric fence. And this is kind of loose right here, and especially over time, the fence can start to sag like that. And so I'll show you how to put a post in to help it to not sag. And basically what I'm doing is just pulling the post back like that. That way the fence stays a little straighter. Alright, so there's no real science to it, but you basically want to just kind of weave your post through the netting at an angle. That's the first step. And then, once you get your posts in, you want to lean the fence back and just kind of push your post. And this just kind of acts as a brace. And then you want to hammer it in. And that's pretty much it. You know, it's Nothing magical about it. It just makes this hold a little tighter. I hope that tip helps. This is just supposed to hold your fence a little tighter, make it hold in your animals a little better, and wherever you need a support post, we just add one. So no real science to it, and if you need, there's these clips. They're like screw-on clips that the fence hooks onto. So we borrowed a pack of those from somebody. That way our posts can hold up the fence and stop it from sagging and grounding out on the ground. Alright, I hope that tip helps. Let's get back to the time lapse. Alrighty guys, it's about a month later, and we have the fence set up, around the garden area. And we have the chickens in here, and right now the cows in the barn, and the sheep, but they're back there. And you can already see the progress they're making in the soil. I'll show you. Alright, so this spot it used to be a pool, and then the old owners turned it into a sandbox. But we haven't really used it for anything. But if you roll to the footage from a couple months ago, you can see that the weeds were really tall, but they've really knocked these down a lot. So that's looking a lot better. And they've started to spread out this compost pile, making it cover more of the garden area. And then if you roll to the footage of the garden beds, I mean, look at this. This was covered in old plants and stuff, and they've really cleared it up a lot. This had strawberries in it, and unfortunately they did scratch those out, but we need to restart them anyway because I wasn't sure if I wanted them in this bed. We might use this bed for growing vegetables and plant the strawberries somewhere else. And of course, let's not forget all the chicken manure on the ground, the cow manure. All this stuff is such good nutrients for the soil. Alright, so we have all the animals on here, and in a little less than a month, I'm going to come in here, probably spread out the compost a little more, and then lay a tarp over the whole garden area, and then let that sit for about a month. Right now it's December 18th or 19th, I can't remember, and we'll put the tarp down January 15th maybe, and then let that sit for about a month. We'll take the tarp off and till it. Now, we only till it once, and then we shape the beds, the 30-inch wide beds. And then after you till it, one disadvantage of tilling is that the weeds come up really easy. So you put the tarp back on over the tilled nice ground for a couple weeks, doesn't have to be long, and then you're ready to plant. I'm going to cut off the video right here. As I said, I'm going to make a playlist with all the videos, and then you can watch the journey. I'll probably make another video about this when we take the animals off of this ground and put the tarp on, and then another video when we shape the beds and plant. So thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.